Girls. I'm here with my good friend Zero the Hero. He just stopped by for his 130th day of school adventure. He thinks it looks a little different coming to school here, and we were just talking about Corinth Elementary and how many days we've been coming and having adventures, and he asked me if I'd help him out this time. I told him I'd do my very best. He has a lot to tell us about, a lot of important information. So I wondered if you guys wanted to hear Zero the Hero's 130th day adventure. All right, here we go. The Adventures of Zero the Hero, the 130th day of school, March 26th, 2020. Hello, boys and girls. It has been a very long time since we've been able to see each other. When we last saw each other on the 120th day of school, we talked about reading for the 30-30 challenge and Dr. Seuss's upcoming birthday. We were looking forward to the upcoming spring break, and everyone seemed excited for a little time to be at home or on vacation. Raise your hand if you went on your own adventures during spring break. I bet many of you had some great times. I remember that the groundhog predicted we would have an early spring this year. Our weather has shown us so many different things in those weeks. We had warm temperatures one day, cold weather the next day, and even a few storms. Well, I went to see some weather experts to see if I could figure out what was going on. Any idea where I might go for information about the weather? Do you have any ideas? Let's see. This is the Weather Channel studio. The people and reporters who work here monitor the weather. What tools do you see that help them with their report? I see televisions and maps and computers. What do you see? The computers and television screens help the reporters report the weather and issue alerts. Meteorologists are people who study weather patterns and report their best predictions for the next few hours, days, or even weeks. Raise your hand if your family watches the weather on TV at your home. I know Miss Katie watches the weather. Her weatherman talks to her in the mornings. Many people use the weather chart to plan their week. The white numbers show the highest temperatures we might reach that day. The blue numbers show the coldest temperature it should be that day. According to this chart, will we have more sunny or more cloudy days this week? I think you're right. What other information can we gather from this model? I can see that it looks like it's going to be breezy on Thursday. On Saturday, there's a chance of storms. And it looks like Tuesday it might rain, but the percentage of rain is higher on Saturday. That means there's a greater chance we might have some rain on Saturday than Tuesday. Can you see that on your chart? These are different tools that help indicate parts of the weather. Raise your hand if you know what a thermometer is used to measure. That's right, it measures the temperature. Why is knowing the temperature important before we go outside? Got good answers. If you look at the thermometer on the left, you'll see a red line all the way up to the number 80. That shows us that it's pretty warm outside. And that red goes up or down. If it's warmer, it goes higher, and if it's colder, it goes lower. In the middle, that thermometer has a needle that points to different parts of clothes. So it shows when it's 0 to 20 degrees, you're going to want to be wearing your gloves and hats and coats and even long pants because it's cold outside. If the needle moved around to the dark blue or even the red, you might want to put on some cooler clothes because the temperature is going to rise and it's going to get warmer. If it's 80 degrees, you don't want to wear a coat and hat and gloves. You'd much rather wear a t-shirt. So that needle moves. In the last thermometer on the right, there are a lot of numbers. I've seen these kinds of thermometers in people's houses before. The top shows what time it is. In the middle, it shows you what the indoor temperature is. And on the bottom, it even shows you what the outside temperature is. Do you have a thermometer at your house? Does it look like one of these? Meteorologists also use maps to indicate the weather. This map shows several of the weather alerts in America for March 17th. Can you find Mississippi? Do we have any alerts? What are some of the alerts you notice on this map? If you look at the top, boys and girls, you'll see different colored squares, and those different color squares show the different kinds of warnings or alerts they might have. If it's orange, it's a heat alert. If it's dark purple, that's a wind advisory. And if it's light blue, you'll see a flood warning. If you look for Mississippi, you'll see we have light blue. Do you remember what kind of warning that is? That's right, it's a flood warning. We've had a lot of rain lately, so it's very possible that we have flood warnings in our state. The meteorologists often use satellite images to monitor the weather. This picture shows the eastern coast of America being covered by some very thick clouds. What do you think clouds are made of? It kind of looks like cotton that you pulled apart, doesn't it? Do you think clouds are made of cotton? No, clouds are made from water vapor. This diagram of the water cycle was drawn to explain how the water on Earth turns into the rain. The more water vapor a cloud gets, the more likely it will rain or snow. So in this picture, you can see that there is a cloud and it is raining. The rain falls down onto the ground and the water runs off the ground into lakes and rivers. The sun heats up the water and it starts to evaporate. Evaporate makes it so you can't even see it, but it will heat up so much that it will evaporate into the sky. Then that water vapor collects, it accumulates, and if it gets enough water vapor, it becomes a cloud again. When it gets enough water vapor in it that it begins to start to get darker, we're going to see more rain, and the cycle starts over. Do you see the circle? Cloud, rain, goes into the rivers, it evaporates, it accumulates, and then it starts to rain once again. That's why we call it a cycle. Once the rain or snow falls, many people measure how much rain fell using a rain gauge. The temperature here was cold enough to freeze the rainwater and collect snow on top of that. It looks like they had a lot of snow on top of their frozen rainwater. The meteorologist showed me a radar image of a very powerful storm that had blown through Mississippi. The red indicates a tornado was possible in this storm. The siren sounded and everyone took shelter to protect themselves. Would you know what to do in case of a tornado? If you were home, you might go to an underground shelter like this one. If you don't have an underground shelter, it is best to get into an interior room with no windows. Many people even get in their bathtubs and put a mattress over themselves. How could that protect us? If you went into a storm shelter, you go underground, and the tornadoes often do damage on top of the ground. If you're inside your house and a mattress is over you in the bathtub, it's going to help protect you from things that might fall. Do you know where to go in case of a tornado? Of course, there are no underground shelters in our schools. What would we do to protect ourselves if we were in school? Do you know the position you would need to get into? I knew the position and practiced covering my head and pulling my knees under my stomach. Why do you think it's important to stay in this position during a tornado? Yep, those are some really good reasons. If the wind is blowing or if things start to swirl around, you absolutely want to pull your knees in and cover your head, just like we do during our tornado drills. We also have to remember to be really quiet so we can hear what the teachers and the principals are telling us so we can all be safe. Zero has his knees pulled in and his hands covering his head. Great position, Zero. You're doing a great job. A tornado just recently touched down near Corinth. It did a lot of damage to stores, homes, and properties. It is good to know how to protect ourselves when severe weather is in the area. I can see that a lot of trees fell down. I see a store that looks like it got smushed a little bit, and I even see a car on its side. I think everyone in Tishomingo was safe. Did you know about the tornado that hit the other day? And speaking of protecting ourselves, I heard your school was doing something they've never had to do before, just to protect you. They had to close their doors and tell everyone that we couldn't go into the school building. Do you know why? There is a terrible virus that is spreading in communities, cities, and countries all over the world. Many people are getting this nasty germ and is making many people sick. It is so small, you cannot see the germ with your eyes. People who do not even know they have the germ can pass it on to others. This is the part of the reason that many places have had to make big changes in how we have always done things. Being sick is never any fun. This virus is so new that doctors and scientists are working hard to make and test new medicines to help people get well soon. The President of the United States has been coming on the television a lot, and reporters are sharing lots of information. Lots of people in our country and the state of Mississippi are getting sick from the coronavirus now. Have you heard of the coronavirus, boys and girls? I sure am glad that those doctors and scientists are working so hard to take care of us. And President Trump is doing his best to keep our country safe, even the state of Mississippi. It is good to get information about what we need to be doing. The leaders of Corinth Elementary listened to the advice from national and state advisors and decided that in order to keep everyone safe, they would close the schools and begin a new way of doing school through distance learning. The teachers worked hard to gather and organize your supplies. The teachers, principals, and administrators helped pass out materials to you over the weekend. Hopefully, this will help everyone stay healthy and well so that we can get back to school together very soon. There are other helpers working to get food out to you in your communities too. Each day, Hundreds of breakfast and lunch meals are planned, prepared, packed, and sent out to you in several community centers. Have any of you been getting those delicious meals? If not, make sure you're stopping by one of the many locations to grab yours soon. I know that they start to pass meals out from 10:30 to 12:30. One of the locations is at the school, and there's lots of community centers that are getting these meals. Have you gotten yours recently? They sure do look delicious. Miss Christie and Miss Kim work hard to plan you very healthy and nutritious meals so that we can keep our bodies healthy and well. Great job. While you're home, there are lots of things you can do to protect yourself and others around you. These doctors from our local hospital want you to know that we are all in this together, but they ask that we all do our part. Can you name some things that we can do to help during this time? I see they're holding signs that say, "We're all in this together. Please do your part." The girl at the bottom is wearing gloves and masks to protect herself, and these doctors look like they are ready to take care of anyone who might come in not feeling very well. Remember to wash your hands often. The germs can often live on door handles or countertops or hard surfaces for a really long time. Make sure you use water and soap to make those germs go away. Try singing your alphabet song or counting to 20 slowly while you rub your hands with soapy bubbles. Get between your fingers and under your fingernails too. We want to wash all those germs down the drain. If you cannot get to a sink, Germex or hand sanitizer works really well too. You also have to be careful to not touch your face, nose, mouth, or eyes with your hands. The germs can easily get in those places without you even knowing it. Many times we touch our faces without even thinking about it. You might see some people wearing masks to help them stay safe. Keep your hands washed and your hands off of your face to help keep that virus from spreading. Remember, as your school nurses have posted, we do not share germs. Zero's even got his little mask on, protecting his nose and his mouth. Good job, Zero. Another thing we can do is to try to stay home as much as possible. If you feel sick, you should definitely stay home if at all possible. If we stay home, this virus has a harder time passing from one person to another. Sometimes we do need to go out to the community or stores. When you have to go out, or if you gather with friends, you should try to keep some distance between yourselves. Remember, keep the number of people gathering in a group to no more than 10. Your kindergarten teachers do want you to go outside. Your teachers at Corinth Elementary, your PE coaches, we want you to stay healthy and go and play, walk, run in your yard. Just keep a safe distance from your friends. Don't pile in on top of each other. And make sure that you are staying home if you can so that we can slow the spread of this virus. Most of you know this because I've heard your teachers, the nurses, and your parents tell you that if you have to cough or sneeze, where is the best place for you to catch it? That's right in your elbow. Using the crook of your elbow will help keep the germs from spreading once again. If you use a tissue, please be sure to throw it in the trash. Guess what you get to do next? You guys are so smart. Yes, you get to go wash your hands again. That little girl is practicing sneezing into her elbow. I have heard that called the chicken wing. It kind of does look like a chicken wing. Can you put your elbow up to your nose like a chicken wing? And remember, if you use a tissue, please throw it in the garbage and go wash your hands again. It's a great way to catch a sneeze or a cough, but we need to throw it away and be safe with our hands by washing them. Your teachers and principals know that this is a strange and scary time. Maybe you've seen things on television or heard people talking about things that make you worry. School looks different than we thought it would when we left for spring break. And I just bet some of you are missing your teachers and friends and classrooms. The hallways at Corinth Elementary, the gym, the library, the office, the music room, and the art room are all so lonesome without you, too. The teachers miss your smiles and hugs and waves very much, and they are ready to have you back at school when it is safe. We know it is hard to understand sometimes, but here are a few things we want you to know. Your CES principals and teachers love you and miss you so much. We want you to stay safe and well so that we can get back together soon. You are amazing and smart and funny and wonderful kiddos, and we cannot wait to watch you keep learning and growing, even if it isn't how we thought we'd learn and grow together this year. We are all in this together. And finally, you, my darling friends, are going to be okay. Usually, you would see your teachers, principals, and friends in the hallways waving and smiling and telling you how great we think you are. They sure do miss being able to do all those things. So we did the next best thing. Your teachers and principals and friends at CES have helped me create a video to share with all of you. They had some messages they wanted to send to you, and we hope you will smile when you see what they have to say. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see some people who still want you to know what amazing kids you all are. Are you ready? Here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, you shine your light, I'll shine mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Well, now you shine your light, I'll shine mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, now you shine your light, I'll shine mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. It shines like the sun above. I'm gonna let it shine. Well, it shines just like the sun above. I'm gonna let it shine. Don't you know it shines like the sun above? I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know how much I love you. Please don't From the Weather Channel Center to a tornado near our hometown to a virus that changed our whole way of life, this adventure has taught us that knowing what to do can save our life and the lives of those around us. And it sure was fun getting to see all of our teacher friends sharing their words of encouragement and smiles, wasn't it? I cannot believe we only have 5 more visits together. The year is passing quickly, and even though we are working in a different way now, I can tell you are still working hard to do your best for your teachers. Keep it up. I must be off on my next adventure. Enjoy your 130th day, distance style learning. See you in 10 more days. Happy learning. I love you. 0.